And so my mom said to me, because my mom ran a school for children with autism and developed several different programs, and I would volunteer at her school, and I just love teaching, whether it's a dog, a rock, it doesn't matter, I teach it. And so she said, get experience. So because I didn't have so much fun being visually impaired, summer camp wasn't the greatest for me. You know, I don't tan, I can't play ball games are not my thing. So I always volunteered with the kiddies, and that was my thing. And so I just kept volunteering. Then I started working at camps for people with disabilities, all different ranges. And that's something, behaviorally, I experienced so much, such a wide range of, you know, again, I wanted to experience the whole field of special ed as much as I could, and started very young. As my mom said, get experience, and that's exactly what I tried to do. So I ended up in some weird places, but we worked, this is the camps, and obviously I worked with a lot of adults with very severe disabilities, lots of different things, and I worked, and I was just showing these, I can't even believe I did this, but the kids, they had cabins. We had platform tents. I mean, looking back, I'm like, I can't even believe I did that. And we were a bit crazy at times and supportive, but again, I worked in residential care facility with adults and children for about that time, all through college. So it was something that really inspired me, but also made me say, something about that field, I don't know if I could work in it full time. So, but I really enjoyed it. Did do some classroom work. I had to have an animal. Couldn't have a dog, so I had the token. That was probably the only animation I was able to get in there was Holly. Oh, and I so wanted her to be a dog. I so did. And I would hold her and make her snuggle, and she did a little agility runs in my living room, and yeah, she was awesome. She was a good piggy. She lived about 6 years. The first morning I was home alone with Andrew and David, she died. She had a piece of a plum. My cat starts looking over. I'm like, oh, what is Levin looking at? Polly's, great. It was horrible. She was an awesome pig. I love my piggies. So, and this is class, I did do a lot of early intervention early on, and again, then worked on weekends. So that's kind of where I left out before I started having kids and before I met Joe. Was doing teaching, working in North Philly. This was in Paoli, that was in Reading, so some of you know those areas. And then, and again, imagine, I mean, the funny thing is this meeting, when Joe and I were here, I remember he was meeting my sister for the first time, and she said something, we were out, and I was feeling kind of nauseous, and we couldn't find it, we were in New York City, and my sister, we were having dinner at this Mexican place, and I remember her saying, Jen's like the goddess of fertility or something. Like she made some kind of comment to me. Little did we know Andrew was on his way. And little did we know, you know. So it was, my sister pegged it. So she imagined it, believed it, and darn it, allowed it. It's all her fault. I know. It's great. And look where we are. And I'm so grateful for my kids and Joe, because he puts up with a lot. So there's my manifestation, okay? So you dream and dream and dream, and did I get shepherds? Let me tell you. I got shepherds. We got more shepherds than one could ever want in their lifetime. So we have fostered probably, you know, I don't know, 70 plus dogs, mostly shepherds. When you become president of a group, you're a sucker. If someone has a problem, the dog comes to you. Yeah, great. So, and actually Claire has one of my fosters. Where's Claire? Had one of my fosters, and we reconnected. For 9 years. Yeah, Roscoe. Yep. And he was such a good boy, and I remember that. And that was my boy Duke, who did not. Yeah, he's off. I miss him. We did have a couple other weird ones along the way, like a Doberman. And we did one Doberman and lots of Goldens, like about 5 or 6 boxers that we fostered, and one Wheaton Terrier. That was it. That was it. I won't. Never. Never. Never again. We would joke and say our shepherd would go, wheat and terrier, you know, but wheat and terrier. That dog, yeah, he and I did not have a good situation one night around the crate. And there are 2 dogs that have ever bitten me. He was one of them, because it was about midnight and all the kids were asleep, and I think Joe was working late, and he would not be quiet. And I tried everything, and I tried being kind, and finally I just said, you're going in that crate. And he bit me. Of course he did. He's like, no, I'm not. Really, you can, really, meant it. I'm a terrier, I will bite you. And he did. And I said, yeah, I deserve that, okay. Regroup. And we had tons of puppies. Oh my gosh. I had a bright idea of fostering puppies, and they were from 2 weeks old to whatever, 6 females. You know, really, Siberian Husky puppies? Oh my God. Yeah, that cured me. That's it. And you know, we have some suckers along the way, you know, Jack, our poor cat, you know, he put up with a lot, and he really, he was one of these things, just observation skills, spot the feline. But he did not know dogs until Moose, and that was a very eye-opening experience for him. And they learned to love each other. Jack would roll his head into Moose's mouth and roll it out. People go, don't you want to stop that? I'm like, if I intervene, something will go very wrong here. It's beautiful. They love each other. We had kittens too. So we didn't just do the dog thing, you know? Oh, kittens are so cute. To me, honestly, this is pure joy. I think there's, until the ringworm comes. And that's kind of a kill, you know, kill joy or joy kill or whatever. But up until the ringworm, it was fabulous. I really love kittens. I think there's a lot to learn. I learned so much from my cats. And I just like that picture of Andrew, who's graduating very soon. So Joe he was so willing and so good. And look, I converted him. No, thank God he grew up with dogs, large dogs, so Great Danes. And Jack, he adapted, okay? So he had his own coping skills. Yeah, he sure did. So they've all adjusted, and Windsor's still doing well. Karen got to meet him last night. Meredith met him, and years ago that wouldn't have happened. So he's doing fabulous. He didn't even bark when you came in. I mean, he was just, yeah. So then with rescue, it got me, obviously I saw the pattern. I saw the need. I saw that so many people were having issues with dogs and babies. So many people had concerns and fears. One of the piece of the puzzle, husband, wife, mother-in-law, whoever, like, said, that dog, you can't have that dog around that baby, you know. And obviously I was working mostly with shepherds, and that was a big scary thing. And I said, you know, this is a real problem. And I ended up doing a lot of consultations and a lot of in-home stuff just voluntarily. And I was talking to Molly Stone one time, because funny enough, one of our shepherds went to her because she's a trainer. I don't know how many of you know Molly, but she's wonderful. And she said, you know, you really should do this for a living. And I said, what are you talking about? Like, I'm not qualified. She goes, who is? And that was the point that I started looking online. And then the first thing I saw was Nicole Wild's book. So you want to become a pet dog trainer? And I said, well, maybe I do. And so I started researching, got involved with, at the time, I think it was Synology College, James O'Hare, years, and we're talking 2002. And he has changed names and everything a million times, so I don't know what, Cassie, I think it's now. Originally, we were just Family Paws. That was our homemade logo. Bailey was our Family Paws dog. We sponsored baseball teams and things like that. And they're my guys doing the doggone crazy game at some of our events that we did. I've done my share of Beatrice. I met Joan Orr in 2003, Joan and Teresa and Karen DeLise. I met Karen at about the same time. And that was Corinne. This dog used to love these events. She wasn't a space dog like in the house, but man, she could work a crowd. She would just stare you down until you want to touch me. She was so good. You know her, Tina. There's a sassy girl. So we've changed quite a bit over the years, thank goodness. I was having an identity crisis here, you know, and it's been a bit of that. Like, there's Family Paws Gen, then there's, oh God, we're licensing, and oh my God, another program. Okay, well, another program means a new site and a new look and yeah, no. So I was really grateful, well, I was not grateful at first when Veronica with Dog Tech said, yeah, about that. And I was like, no, you can't tell me that because I just did this and I just spent all this money and I just know. And so I kind of went kicking and screaming and she said, please trust me. And I said, oh, that. And I did. I actually did trust her. So we got there, which was much better. And it makes sense. And then we went to this. Because the reason I did the dog and baby connection, honestly, I had a different vision of an online hub that would house everything dog and baby related. And that was really what it originally was going to be. And then when we needed a logo, I'm like, well, I have one. And we just threw it up. And actually, this program was pushed forward because of Liam Perk and working with his family and talking with them so much. And they collaborated a lot on that program. So
I'm just remembering when you made me do the headers for each logo, for all the handouts. She's like, put the new headers for the new logos. 5 days later, we've changed the logos.
Oh yeah.
Back to all the new headers.
It happens, you know. It evolves, and many of you, I mean, Tina, you have stars on your badge because you have been with us from 2005-ish, and you know, it has changed. You guys have rolled with it pretty well. Everybody's adjusting to Gavitat. I know, it's been a little rocky, but we're getting there. And it's going to keep evolving, so buckle up. That's the way it goes. Like, you know, too bad. Life changes. Deal with it. So this was me, though. This was my boys. Okay, so this is why, and you will hear me say it a million times, I really am a stickler about judgment of parents and everything else. They do not need our judgment. If we are judging and bashing and yelling and stupid idiot and blah, we are sending them the other direction. We are scaring them. They will never get help, and we will never stop this cycle. And because this was my house with Moose. Look at him. Look at him digging his claw. I'm clueless. And you would say, whoa, it's a terrible pet. You know, you could just imagine if I post this on Facebook, oh my heavens. And you know what? We can't do that. I refuse. I will not have that a part of the group. In fact, I have let people go for being less than compassionate, seriously, because I will not tolerate that. I think it is, if I didn't have a safe place to learn, I wouldn't have gotten where I got. Neither would my kids. And I don't like shutting people down. And so we need to be a safe place for people to talk to. And that is a big part of what I recommend and do. Because I was there, so I certainly am not going to judge someone who's still in this place. They just need our learning and education. And most of them want to learn. Most of them do. Because if we don't, I mean, in this last week, I had some really, really, really intense calls. They didn't know. And I still struggle with how do we reach people? How do we communicate with them? And those are the brainstorms I've been having. What is it we can do to turn it around? They all want this image, but they don't want to be told what not to do. So what does love look like? You know, it's a really tricky thing. It's a big, everybody wants this. This is so cute, but it's not. And, you know, but yet they still want that photo of harmony. And we need to start creating new harmony images. So we're working on that as well, a little bit. So we want to, you know, again, I go back to, and the whole thing has been this process for me. Imagining something. Often, usually it's in the shower. Oh, there's an idea. Steam cleaning. I don't have a rug anymore to steam clean, but I used to get my best ideas, steam cleaning, because you're just going back and forth and back and forth. And it was great. It just comes to me. Steam, imagine, define, believe, and allow. And I want you all to do that within your own businesses. to me, when you guys, I mean, it's not easy for me to promote myself locally. I do hardly anything for myself locally. But to promote you all is huge. And because it's a bigger picture, you know, it's easier for me to do that. So I want you guys to implement that into your business, because some of you need to believe in yourselves a little more than you do. You could do this. Even though our material, I wrote it originally, make it your own. Get comfortable with it. You know, you need to, because the community needs you to be out there. They need this information out there, and you can do it. Everybody in this room is more than qualified to be doing our program, okay? So that's absolutely what we need to do, and allow yourself to be successful in that way. Imagine, I kind of threw that in because it was just so good.
Aww.
So just dream, right? There's David, looking all cute on the Blue Ridge Highway. We stopped. It was safe. No. Don't jump! I just love that. That's a great place. So what's next for Family Paws? I don't know. We have to imagine, right? I already have something here going on that we're defining that will be in the next year, I believe. We have something exciting going on there. Childbirth professionals, really good. Really, really good. We've got great stuff going on there. I don't know if you guys saw everything that Family Paws will be at for the next little bit, but we have a lot of interest in the childbirth community. We are at Midwifery Today conference in UK, conference in Harrisburg. The International Childbirth Education Association just asked me to come to their conference. I'm doing a poster for Postpartum Support International, all this stuff. And that comes back into the group. It's just getting this information out there. The more that it's just naturally out there, the better. That's why I say use your logos, get the word out there, because then they start going, oh, there's that program, there's that, and then they come. Social work, we got a lot of work to do there. Every one of these areas is potential. This group, we've got to reach. We've got to reach these people. We have to reach the medical community, because so many people, adults included, I have friends who, listen, a bite can lead to post-traumatic stress. Maybe not to the person who was bitten, maybe to the parent who's guilt-ridden, who's absolutely feeling like they 100% failed. The woman I spoke to the other day, it just really, really, really made me so sad. And she was so desperate, and the kid tripped on a rug and fell flat on her dog and got bitten. It was an accident, truly an accident. But the blame and everything else, and just talking to she and her husband for a little while, made a big difference for them. But people go to the ER and they get stitched up, and it's bye-bye. Nothing. They need information. The problem is we have to build. That's another reason I wanted to have a bigger organization, was because until we are recognized and respected, we will never hit the medical community, because they go dog trainer, boop, and they run away. They just, liability, nope, don't do it, dogs, nope. And we need to get better at that. So get used to saying, I'm a parent educator specializing in dogs. I'm a parent educator, I mean, really, because you know your stuff, you have something they need, and we need to be able to bring it to them. And so we're working on that. So I'm probably early, but yeah, hold on. So I took a lot out of this because I really didn't want to stand up here and sob. But I just wanted to show you guys, like, again, it's been a progression, and you all will go through this in your own business, and it's fun, it's exciting. Put out goals for the year. Do it. We often say, oh, it's stupid, don't do that. Do it. I post on the wall how many presenters I might want to get in a year. Just do it, and then allow it. You have to do those things, because otherwise you will not grow. And you need to see where it is you want to go. Even if it's just the silliest thing in the world, do it. Write it down, own it, let it happen. It's really important to do that, and I encourage all of you to do it, okay? And if you don't know how, call me, because usually I'm good at that. I can tell you where your gifts are and say, here it is, send that to you. Put that on your wall for a little while. But make it happen. You can do it. Every one of you in here is very, very talented. I mean, really, really, we've got a great group. But this is one of our old DVDs, and it's probably about 95 slides. My original PowerPoint, because like many of you, when you get excited about something, we want all our clients to know everything, and we don't want to take anything out. So this was that. And I wish I had enough. I wish I thought, Mr. Jim, that I should have thought about it and just given these away, because it's kind of funny. Looking back, it's great information. It's just a lot, but actually it's a good teaching tool. But it was the marathon DVD. So, but I'm excited. We have a lot to do and a lot coming up. And I'm really glad you guys are here, and I'm really glad you're a part of it, because I couldn't do it without all of you. You guys motivate me all the time. Many of you I've called at times, and you just think I'm calling you. No, I'm calling to zap your energy. No, I'm calling to say, I need, something. Well, Colleen, I pick on you all the time. No, and it's good. It's a two-way street, and I really appreciate it. So that's all I got. Thank goodness. I'm done, and I'm going to just sit back and relax and let all you people take over. Have a good time. There you go.